pin in it because the glitch has just hacked into the system. Let me find the right button here. There it is. Welcome, sir.
Hey, good to see ya.
Hey, it's good to see you again. I was just saying to Vanessa, I don't have any notes. I didn't save any from last time. I didn't leave anything on the table. We're winging it tonight, me and you and Vanessa.
Right on.
Yeah, right.
Looking forward to it
It's the only way to do it.
for sure.
I could have played it off like I knew what I was talking about tonight, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna what's that phrase you hate, Vanessa? I'm not gonna insult your intelligence. So, but I did notice, and so enlighten me. So, we're gonna get to the things that are happening in your world, in the world of wrestling, and all that fun stuff. But are you going over to the UK to work?
I'm not. There is a group of
Oh,
Canadian
I
wrestlers,
thought
and
you
I am
were.
super stoked for them.
Okay,
But one day, hopefully,
one day.
right?
I thought
Yeah,
for some maybe you retweeted something they were doing, and
yeah,
I guess I just assumed. Um,
yeah. Always happy to help the good ones out there get some awareness across.
yeah, for sure. Remind me, have you been to the UK before?
Never. I've had friends. I have friends that work there. I've had friends that work there that moved to Canada, but I haven't made the journey yet.
Something you want to do? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So what have you been up to since the last time we talked to you? I see I've seen a lot of things that come up. I don't know if we talked about your Twitch last time, but you got a Patreon. You got this awesome friggin' wrestling buddy that I saw.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
who doesn't want to punch that thing in the face? But what else have you been up to?
No, yeah. So COVID restrictions have kept me out of the ring for a very long time. So I've had to
Oh,
find different ways. And being the glitch in the system and the whole social media superstar,
yeah.
you find a way. It's a new world out there, and there's a lot of opportunity if you're going to grab it. So yeah, I've been stacking my Patreon with over 40 hours of content. Looking back at matches, providing some commentary. I sit down with a lot of the guys that I can share some road stories with. Cataloging all my podcast appearances and whatnot. There's a ton of stuff there, and giving back to all the supporters with like some free merch. It's a pretty Patreon's got their stuff figured out. It's awesome to be an artist and being able to kind of create a community out of your work through that channel. You talked about the Slam Buddy. That was something I never thought would happen in a million years. You
Yeah.
see the old Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior buddies and Macho Man's growing up, and you never think you're going to get one of those. But there's a awesome company. They're called Slam Buddies, and got talking. And sure enough, there was a ton of people expressing interest. So I took the chance on it, and yeah, they're going to be popping up all over Canada and the U.S. there in the next couple of weeks. They're in the mail and on the way. So that's really cool to see. And yeah, I started Twitch. Schedule's a little wonky right now. I got a new baby at home.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she's 8 months right now, so still kind of trying to get things on track and balance everything going on. But yeah, no, it's still exciting times. I wish I was in the ring, but I'm finding ways to keep my name and my presence out there regardless.
I think you do a phenomenal job on social media. Um, and yeah, you obviously, like you said, would rather be in the ring, rather maybe taking that trip to the UK, but you're utilizing social media to its max. You're everywhere on my feed. I don't know. I love it.
I try. I
Yeah, you're
appreciate
doing
the
it.
comments.
Um, but yeah, I forgot. Now that you said it, I remember that you have had a child, 8 months old. Woo!
Yeah,
That
yeah,
yeah, exactly. And a female. So yeah, I mean, that's got to be the greatest thing going right now.
for sure. It's my second kid. We have an 8-year-old
Okay.
and another girl. So yeah,
Oh
I got a
boy.
house full of girls here
Yeah,
I'm dealing with.
you're
But
preaching to the choir here.
all no, it's been an amazing experience to relive all over again. And the first kid, she's a ton of help. She's wanted a sibling, so it's finally here, and she's got her own little kid to look after now and learn the woes of parenting a little bit. But yeah, no, it's been awesome so far. No complaints. I love being a dad. It's the best experience of my life for sure.
Um, man, I remember those times. Those were something else. Um, you
I would
said
rather take the 8-month-old over the 3-year-old though.
yes, true. It gets worse, Jay. No,
Oh, I
offense.
did.
It's getting worse.
My 8-year-old thinks she's 15 already, so
Yeah, that sounds
it's
about
happening
right.
quick.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
sounds about right. I have a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 5-year-old. They're all female. They all think they're older than they need to be.
Right.
Keep them away from any social media. Not social media. We keep like my oldest has. We got her phone because we kind of live close to her school. She wanted to walk with her friends.
Yeah.
So we pulled that trigger. Big mistake on our end. Don't do it. Hold on as long as you can. But no, it's a lot of fun. I cherish those kids every day, but it gets worse. So, no, it gets more challenging. That's the better.
There's a good word.
That's a better word. So you've been out of the ring longer than you would have liked. Are you still able to get somewhere and train and hit the ropes and keep the rust off?
The best I can do is I have a room that's about 16 feet. So if I need to roll around, there's a rug. I'm used to, as a kid, backyard wrestling on a fairly hard floor, most of my childhood. So rolling around on a rug when I need to. We were lucky enough to have one show just a little bit before Halloween this past year, before we got hit with another wave. And so I was rolling around, just kind of seeing what the breathing was like, where the cardio was at, because I've been keeping in fairly good shape. I've been doing a lot of running and whatnot. So I was fairly confident going back into the ring for that one match, and I didn't want to take it easy. I wanted to push myself to see where I was at. So I'm ready when things do open up and when opportunities do open up. And like I said, there was no stalling. It was take 3 hip tosses, throw a drop kick up over the top rope, and here we go back in the ring, throw a couple clotheslines, hit the ropes, and Spanish flies and whatnot. I really pushed myself to the limits, and I was really impressed with where I was at. So, I think I've done a pretty good job at staying where I need to be when things get a little bit more back to normal.
Yeah, tell me about it. So, what was I gonna say? I just had a good transition, and then I got distracted by when things get back to normal. Last time you were on here, because I just watched it because I have literally all of the interviews playing nonstop here because I'm trying to build up watch hours, and your last time on here came up. You were holding the championship belt. Still got it.
Still got it.
Well, that makes sense because nobody's pinned you yet. That makes perfect sense.
So, like the longest reigning champion right now.
Are you keeping track of how many days it's been? Cage match should be.
I got to give a shout out to a fan on Twitter, Kim. She does a phenomenal job of tracking my career and everything. She's counting the days for me. I'm not sure exactly where it's at, but I won the title in, I want to say, May of 2019. So I'm doing pretty good with it, I think.
Yeah. You'll be catching Punk. You'll be in Punk territory soon.
Right.
Well, I kind of black out after Punk. I know there's others that have long reigns, but come on.
Right.
Punk's the best. Are you okay? So you take bumps on your floor. You're staying ready. You're staying fit. Your mind is there. You're keeping everything out on social media to keep yourself your name out there and relevant in people's minds. Do you watch the current product? Do you watch old products to study and take notes and do all that jazz?
That's such an interesting. I wish more wrestlers would talk about what they study.
Yes, that's what I want to know. Like, what are you watching?
Right. So when I first came onto the indies, everyone was pushing Ring of Honor and Japan and watch the old Japan stuff from the 90s. And as good and phenomenal as all of those guys are, it isn't what made me a fan. What made me a fan was that new generation, maybe a little bit of the Hulkamania era of WWF. So religiously, I go back and watch a lot of my favorites, and I love approaching it throughout the different years because your knowledge of the business increases as you go along as well. So you can go back and watch those old tapes and learn new things and appreciate what it is that made you fall in love with those matches or those wrestlers in the first place. So I really love going back and watching Bret Hart and Mick Foley and The Undertaker, even some Goldust mixed in there. Stone Cold, when he sat down and picked apart his own matches on some of his DVD sets, I would pay all the money in the world to get that kind of knowledge, right? So learning from some of the very best. But I do keep up as far as current products. AEW is number one. I am definitely starting to watch a lot more indies to kind of gauge my skill levels versus everyone else's and see kind of what names are popping up and who I'd be interested in getting in the ring with. Regrettably, I watched the Royal Rumble this past Saturday.
Well, we were just talking about that. So what was your takeaway of the Rumble?
It was a long watch. Luckily I'm not in a place where I'm emotionally invested in anything. I understand where they're at business wise. They have a plan and they're sticking to it pretty stubbornly for the past 8 years. And if it pays off in the end, cool for them. It's just not my cup of tea. So, that's kind of it.
And I think it's funny because me and Vanessa talked about it ad nauseum at the start of the show tonight, how I kind of enjoyed it. I liked it. I was trying to debunk, the negativity that people put out there. But then hearing you talk, it made me think the WWE is to them, they're in their own wrestling world. They're in their own thing, which isn't a bad thing. But then there's this whole other wrestling world with, the promotions, the indies, like you said. But just hearing you talk about it just made me think of that as well. Like WWE doesn't for 8 months they're doing what they want to do. It's their narrative.
Absolutely.
They're pushing their narrative, and more power to them. Really, I mean, you said it best. You weren't that invested, and I think that plays a lot in wrestling. I mean, better than I do.
Yeah.
You mentioned the indies. Another thing you said, and it never occurred to me, but yeah, an independent wrestler should be keeping up with the indies to see where they stand and in relation to what's out there today. And that just didn't occur to me. Or who they want to get in the ring with, who they can make money with, who they can sell tickets with. Has anybody caught your eye that you would like to get in the ring with?
There is a massive amount.
It's a loaded question, I know.
When the whole last time we were talking about the whole Cody Rhodes Open Challenge thing,
that's right.
The first champion, I was really high up on the radar, and Warhorse kind of took that number one indie spot guy. There was a lot of requests for him, and he didn't get signed. He was the only guy who didn't get signed. So I wonder, if I got my shot, maybe I would have got signed. Maybe there was something there that people would have latched onto. I don't know. So Warhorse has definitely been at the top of my list for a little while now. Danhausen, he just got signed though, was another one. Just a fun guy to mix it up with. One that's really standing out right now is Kid Bandit. He trained at the Nightmare Factory. He's been on AEW Dark a couple of times. I think that kid's going to be a huge star.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, Effie's a big name that's out there right now. Joey Janela's kind of getting back on the indie scene, and that's got a guy that's been on my radar now for a couple of years as well. Right now, though, no matter what you watch, there are so many talented guys out there and girls, and I don't mind intergender matches, just saying.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a lot of talent out there, and it's really exciting to see what's possible.
Yeah. And we were talking about that earlier too. There's so much wrestling out there. And for the people that didn't enjoy the Rumble, and somebody said earlier tonight, the reason people didn't like the Rumble is they wanted something different and they wanted this and that, whatever the case may be. Well, if that's what you want, then you can watch something else. I mean, you're not tied to the WWE. They're not giving you money to watch them. They're not.
That's just it.
They will not do that. There's so much wrestling out there. And if you turn on the Royal Rumble and you don't like what you see, turn it off and watch the WWE from back in the day, like you said.
Yeah.
And I thought your take on that was phenomenal because it's like I've always looked at old school wrestling as the greatest TV show you could think of. And what I mean by that is you can just rewatch it over and over again and pick up something new. The greatest comedy. Like I can watch Seinfeld over and over again and I'll pick up something different every time. And that's the same feeling I get with like the same era of wrestling that you were mentioning earlier. So
For sure.
yeah, exactly. I hope nothing. I can't. I mean, just hearing you talk, I can feel. How do I want to say? I can feel how bad you want to get back in the ring. I can hear it in your voice. You're ready.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You're ready to.
I'm glad you could hear it.
I can feel it. I not only can I hear it, I can feel it coming through. You want to stop a mud hole in someone's ass. And like the sky is the limits. But you've and we said it. You know, you've been keeping busy with the social media, the Patreon, the YouTube, giving things back to the fans, which I think is you can't be commended enough for that.
So important, right? Like,
I
especially
agree. Yeah.
I'm so gridlocked here in the middle of Winnipeg, Manitoba area
Yeah.
in Canada. There's not a whole lot of options for me unless I drive a good distance. There's not a lot of exposure as far as what's going on in our little corner of the wrestling world. So for people to kind of back me up, to support me and try to make things happen for me, absolutely, I have to show that appreciation back. It's not a one-way street anymore in the world of wrestling. There's a lot more openness and inclusion, and I think it's important to include the fans on the journey that we take to try to make it anywhere in this business.
Wow. I couldn't have said that better myself. That was phenomenal. But let's veer off for wrestling for a bit. Just for a second, I guess.
Sure.
You are home a little more than you would like to be. What are you watching?
I love being home. When they said stay home, like sign me up. I'll stay home.
Right?
No problem.
Right? I dislike people. This is great for me. Are you watching? What's the top show? What keeps your interest besides wrestling, or is it all wrestling?
No, it's not all wrestling. I do have a little bit of a life outside.
Oh.
My wife would like more of the wrestling outside.
Yeah.
But no, we what is it? We were just watching the series Yellow Jackets. I'm not sure if you
heard that's
that.
good.
A lot of people are kind of talking
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, pretty good. There's a lot of TV going on in our house in the background.
Right.
I haven't seen a lot of good movies. We've been lucky enough to sneak away to movie theaters, checked out the new Spider-Man, and that was amazing. Kid drags.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid drags me to a lot of cartoons too. We saw the new Disney Encanto.
Yeah.
I love just getting out and experiencing the movies, and we usually save them for the good ones.
Yeah.
So far, we're batting 100 on that.
We saw Spider-Man, and Encanto is just all over our house right now. All over.
Oh yeah. same, 100%. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other series. I think they're all coming back this week. Like South Park is back. I'm super into that still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Brother reality show. Wife got me hooked when we just started dating, so it's kind of a family tradition now. So I'm hooked in. Yeah. No. I mean, Maid was another great show on Netflix that totally took me by surprise.
My wife watched that. I didn't watch that.
Yeah. We're going back and watching Black Mirror, the entire series. There's some really phenomenal episodes of that show. Yeah, other than that, we buckled down and we got a Nintendo Switch as well. So,
hey, I got one for Christmas too.
Yeah, it's an amazing little system. Just the diversity of it. You can take it and just pick it up like a mobile, or you can play it on the TV.
Yeah.
I played through. I had so much time when the pandemic first started. I blasted through Zelda's Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
I really recommend that game, possibly if you're into that stuff. A lot of Mario parties too. We've got family in other neighborhoods that we can play online now, so that's awesome.
Excellent.
And just picked up the new Pokemon game. And I went back. I'm a big nostalgia guy, I guess, but I went back and got Final Fantasy 8, 9, and 10. Played those as a kid, so kind of went back and relived the childhood and that. So
Good
keeping
for you.
busy.
Keeping busy. Good for you. Phenomenal stuff. I don't think I talked enough about your Patreon. So before I give you the microphone to put yourself over, you talked, so the Patreon, a little extra to the fans. You talked about, let me see, correct me if I'm wrong. You're cataloging all the podcasts that you're on. You talked about merch on there. What else can people expect? Signing up to the glitches. Is it still the glitch?
Oh yeah, still a glitch in the
Perfect.
system.
I think
yeah.
I love it. I think it fits great. Stick to that for
Yeah.
sure. To Jay Walker's Patreon.
Yeah, so I sit down and look at some of my old matches
That's right,
and break
looking at
down
them, yeah.
some of the stories and commentary. I sit down sometimes with the opponents and we go over just kind of our experiences in it. I do road journals whenever I travel. So over my last match that I had, there was a couple of videos up. I had quite a few hours on the road to kill, so kind of just shot the breeze a little bit and kind of gave my perspective of what it was like going back into the ring. I do a digital deep dive series, it's called, where I sit down with people from my wrestling past, and for about a half an hour, we kind of go over stories, our experiences, what was going on in our heads, and kind of trade notes. It's really interesting and very casual. It's not such an interview format, and I think it's a different. It's cool to watch two wrestlers communicate with each other in that aspect. The podcasts are amazing, this with you guys, but just to have two wrestlers, it's a different dynamic, and it's really cool to see the relationships built over time. And yeah, as you said, the merch, depending on what tier you sign up, you can get stickers. There's some amazing artwork that's getting printed and sent your way, or if you're crazy enough to really believe in me, there's free t-shirts coming your way too. So there's definitely a lot going on if you check it out.
Nice. Yeah, the free t-shirts at the $25 tier. And that'll get you anything below that as well. There's stickers, there's personalized videos. I'm looking at it right now. But you talking about wrestlers just sitting down together and talking with each other, that is great stuff. Like, that's stuff I can't relate with. Like, I can research as much as I want. I can ask all sorts of questions and take us all down different avenues, but I don't have that experience and that feeling and that relatability. I think that's great. I would love to sit in on one of those just to hear it, just to hear each person's take on, like you said, you talk to opponents that you've been in the ring with. I would love to hear that each take of the opponent.
And it's so interesting too, because we come from such different backgrounds and we just approach wrestling in different ways. It's really cool. Like I wish there would be more of that in wrestling. Like imagine like Mick Foley and Triple H sitting down to discuss their street fight at that Royal Rumble in 2000. Like those kind of moments, just to sit there and talk and just open forum and just to see the relationship too and how they've connected through a wrestling match of all things and just have this like forever bond over it.
Yeah, I agree. It's great stuff. You're doing great things. I hope you get back in the ring soon. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole different podcast that we won't even venture down this road tonight. You're a great human. You're a great person. You're a great dad. You're a phenomenal wrestler. I'm going to give you the mic. Put over anything you want, bear anything you want. Let us know. I don't care what you say, Jay. The floor is yours, my friend, and I will not interrupt.
Thanks, man, for all the kind words.
No problem.
I'm gonna put you over because you do such a good job with this show and getting your stuff out there. Really impressed with the YouTube channel and everything that you guys do. It's really cool. You got a good thing going on, and I hope nothing but the best for you guys. Now I guess I got to put myself over, and I do that so much already. If anybody new is watching, I'm different than most wrestlers. I love to tell stories, and I love to connect with you on such an emotional level that you will never forget me. I promise that. Because no matter what show I show up on, and I can do it without even wrestling, on social media, you see it, you hear it, you feel it. People connect to me. People come up to me at shows and say, you know, all that wrestling was great, but there's something about you, you're different. So if you follow me, if you check me out at a show, please feel free to reach out to me, because I want to know how I made you feel. Because I remember being a kid. I remember in 1996 pulling up to the Winnipeg Arena and getting surprised that we were getting dropped off to watch a house show main evented by Mankind and The Undertaker. I remember that excitement as a kid, and the amazing feeling after the fact when the wrestlers would talk on the microphone and relate to the people in the audience. I remember those kind of feelings, and I want to make everybody who ever buys a ticket, anybody who ever supports me, everybody who doesn't even financially support me but follows me on social media, I want you to feel that very same way. I want you to feel emotionally connected, and I want you to feel excited, and I want you to love what you're experiencing as far as pro wrestling goes.
Spectacular.
There's too much hate going on in the world of wrestling, and we got to fix that and turn that around.
I agree. Vanessa agrees as well. Too much hate. It's easy to hate. It's hard to love. Jay, you've been a pleasure to have on once again. You're welcome back anytime. Talk anything. You want to talk parenting daughters? We can do that. You have a show. You're getting back in the ring. You have a show to put over. Our door is open, and you always have a voice here, man. You're welcome back anytime. Thank your entire family for giving us the time tonight, and you as well. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me again, guys. We will talk soon. Appreciate it.
Peace. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.